What's up everybody and welcome to this Ana Advanced VOD review. In this video we're going to be breaking down my Ana gameplay and I'm going to tell you exactly how you can have immensely high impact with aggressively placed abilities and nades on Ana. In this video in particular, I really set myself up in order to get those fat 4 and 5 man nades that really can dominate a whole team fight. Let me break down my thought process and my plays in slow motion so you can really see how I utilize nade to its maximum potential. Do you want in-depth guides telling you everything you need to know to improve? Then come give our website a shot. GameLeap.com has hundreds of guides over every character in the game to ensure that you're prepared for any meta. Every single guide is made by Grandmaster players, so you get the absolute best tips and strategies out there, all in the same spot. So what are you waiting for? Come check us out in the links down below. Now kicking it off on defense here, I want to play the high ground on top of this box. Specifically on this map on defense, I want to try to abuse the high ground so that I can rain down a nade onto the enemy team. Getting a giant nade is definitely worth big value, so that's usually what I'm looking for playing on this high ground. Notice how my team drops down and I stay up here. I'm staying up here and I called prematurely that I'm looking for a nade play. What I can do here is I can allow my team to get a pull and I try to go for a nade. Now I know this positioning might seem aggressive to you, but I want you to take a few things in mind. Look at the two enemy team DPS. They're mirroring our own DPS. Then take notice about where my Hanzo is. Essentially what I'm saying here is my Hanzo's contesting all the space that a sniper would have to take in order to contest me. The sniper either has to be way back on high ground or underneath. Either way, I'm free to operate here. This is why I simply play this area. I've been asked time and time again to make positioning guides. The problem with trying to teach positioning is it's always subjective. I can position up here specifically because I know the enemy team and I know what space is contested by my own Hanzo. Positioning isn't abstractly good or bad, it's always situational. This is why it's incredibly hard to make a video that simply summarizes positioning for everybody because it's always different for every different situation. That being said, I can give you a couple of fundamental things that you need to think about every time you're playing in a certain place to help you better understand whether or not it's a good position. First thing, you need to think about just what value you get out of the position you are. There's a certain risk versus reward aspect with every single positioning. While you can always play incredibly safe, that doesn't mean you'll be able to get the impact that you want to. Just like with this Ana example, I'm not playing in the most safe position I possibly can. However, the reward is I can set up for these insane nades that I get over and over again. Evaluate risk versus reward and really ask yourself if the aggressive positioning you're taking is worth it. Secondly, ask yourself about your outs. If someone pushes you here, what are you going to do in order to get out? Do you have a mega nearby? Are you close to your team or resources? Is it hard for your teammates to peel for you? All these things you need to keep track of. Now the last thing that you need to understand is that your positioning can vastly change based on your mechanics. You see it all the time with pro players and streamers. If they're confident in their mechanics, they can take all kinds of different positioning that normal people wouldn't be able to take. Taking a flank on Kree can be risky positioning, however if you hit every shot, the flank on Kree is justified. Maybe playing the high ground alone on Ana against a Genji is definitely risky, but if you can sleep and outplay that Genji every time, it's justified as well. The better your mechanics are, not only are you more forgiven for positional mistakes, you can take much more aggressive positioning and get away with it as long as you have that mechanic level. Now the enemy team managed to take that first point by using tons of different ultimates. That being said, on this second point, I can't make the exact same flank plays I did on first because unlike the first point, the enemy DPS have a lot more space to contest me. This is a perfect example of evaluating the risk versus the rewards and deciding that the risk is too great in order to try to get these flank nades. That being said, I still try to set up nade combos with my Orisa, and I'm constantly in communication with my Orisa trying to secure these pull nades. Well, not every one of them will connect. As long as you rinse and repeat that same combo, eventually when one of them connects, it's going to get immense impact and may even win the whole team fight for us. Now to win this fight, even against giant amounts of ult disadvantage, I make an interesting play. I specifically nano boost the Hanzo and I tell my team to focus shields. Because the enemy team is mirroring us, both teams have low shield break. If I nano my Hanzo, we can easily win the shield break war with my Mercy damage boost and my Hanzo being able to storm arrow with nano. I evaluate the fact that we can win the shield break war so easily, so making this play actually won us a team fight while only investing one single ultimate into it. While I make some really proactive plays throughout this game and actually hard carry in a lot of spots, the way that I carry more than anything in this game is with my comms. Every time I make a proactive play like nading my enemy, trying to set up for a nade, or nanoing a target, I always talk to my team and tell them exactly what the purpose was. I'm not going to nano my Hanzo and not tell him exactly what his purpose is, and I'm not going to try to just set up these nade plays solo all the time. By actually calling what the win condition is and telling my team exactly what I'm trying to do in every given fight, this allows for a lot more synergy to happen. When playing Ana, give out nano boost with an intent. Don't just throw it on anybody. And once you give it to a target, tell them what you want them to do with it. Time and time again, I'll nano with an intent to get something done, and I'll prematurely tell my teammate what I'm gonna do so that they know that they'll get nano boost. If my Hanzo wasted Storm Arrow and wasted Leap back to our team and then got nanoed, he would get far less impact. To further along that, without telling my team to focus the shields with the Hanzo, the nano boosted Storm Arrow would get a lot less value than it did in this fight. Now, much in the same way that me and this Orisa repeated the exact same combo over and over again, we finally connected with a really sizable nade here. This is a really easy combo to hit, and the fact that we tried to set it up over and over again actually paid off. That combo alone allowed us to finish this fight off and definitively stop the enemy team before they captured all 3 points. Now, while I put a lot of emphasis on aggressive plays on Ana, keep in mind that I never actually let any of my tanks die as a result of me not healing. I'll often look for key opportunities to find a play in between the amount of times that they need me to heal. They don't need me to pocket them 100% of the time. That being said, I'm there when they need me, but in every downtime, I'm looking for a constant aggressive play. Something that's really important, especially on Ana, is called APM, actions per minute. The more that you can get done every single minute on Ana, the more impact that you'll traditionally have. Ana's a character that can flawlessly interweave damage with healing and micromanage all of her abilities perfectly. An Ana that knows exactly when she can have impact without her team getting punished for it, or when she needs to hard pocket her tanks so that they don't get killed, is the mark of a really expert Ana. One of the big things is evaluating just who on your team needs heals and when they need heals. My other healer is a Mercy, so I know we have a decently sizable amount of heals. However, if the other healer that we had was a Zenyatta, then it would take forever for that Zenyatta to heal up my tanks. Basically, I know that if my tanks are in a good position, even if they're relatively low, I don't need to heal them up immediately because I can always get to them and burst them up easily, or my Mercy can heal them. If I had a source of healing that simply wasn't enough, I would have to constantly be babysitting my tanks in order to make sure that they're topped up because the other healer couldn't adequately do that job. Now, moving along to a really decisive fight on second point, let me really break down exactly what my decision making was when trying to close this out. A lot of evaluating the risk versus reward in this fight was extremely difficult, so let's really break down my thought process. Firstly, I make a couple of key fundamental errors in this fight. I throw my nade at the really broken Sigma shield, thinking that it would break midair. What I should have done was simply use my nade in order to heal my allies. If I would have just healed my allies with the nade or thrown it over the Sigma shield, I could have gotten much more impact. Because of this and the aggression showed by my Sigma ultimately dies. That being said, when you make a big mistake in a team fight, you still have to figure out a way to power through. Now that there's only Orisa Mora here, I need to try to cut off the heals that the Orisa is getting from the Mora. To that vein, I go through the shield and nade myself plus the Orisa. The Mora faded back to her Orisa, so she got naded as well. Then, I'll quickly go back to my Orisa and play natural cover. I want to play behind natural cover to constantly put pressure on my enemy to be on payload, but at the same time, still get a certain amount of cover so that I can't get focus fired. The Tracer comes in to try to threaten me here, and I easily sleep her. That being said, I get focused down and die. However, the impact that I got with the nade and the sleep dart was enough for us to win the point. All in all, I would call it a wash. That being said, when analyzing my own gameplay, I can really see the big mistakes that I made by not simply healing up my team at the proper moment. Trying to get extremely crafty with the plays I'm making instead of just doing the consistent thing actually almost lost us the point here. So that's something to really keep in mind. Don't tunnel vision the aggressive playstyle because often you're trying to balance healing and making aggressive plays on a knife's edge. And ultimately in this scenario, I didn't get the balance correctly and missed the mark. Now, before I go, I want to talk to you about a few things that you can do on Ana in order to get that mechanical aptitude to the level that you want to in your games. Try to practice all 3 styles of aims if you possibly can. Shooting from the hip, aiming down the sights, or quick scoping are the 3 types of aims that you want to whip out in any given situation, and practicing all 3 of them can definitely be something that can get you more guaranteed impact. On top of this, practicing your nades in a custom game mode can help you be way more accurate. Keep in mind that nading the back wall of enemies can often be a good way to guarantee you value. You see in this example that I actually missed an aerial nade. This comes down to a lack of practice and honestly trying to hit a nade that's quite difficult to hit. Becoming consistent with your nades and sleep darts is definitely one of the things that you need to do in order to have the insane impact on Ana that you want to. With barriers being nerfed immensely on the new patch coming soon, Ana is looking to be one of the best supports going forward. In fact, a lot of these aggressive nade plays I make in this game are going to be even more viable going forward. So definitely practice Ana and try to utilize the full extent to our kit. If this VOD review wasn't enough for you to master Ana, then come check out GameLeap.com. GameLeap.com has some of the most in-depth guides that you'll find anywhere. In fact, our Ana guide is one of the most extensive on the entire site and can give you in-depth VOD reviews and advanced tips created by top 500 GM players that will help you improve on Ana as quickly as possible. We're so confident our product will help you that we offer a 10-day money-back guarantee. Anyways, I hope this VOD has been extremely helpful for you. Ana is one of my favorite characters to play, and I know that many of you are excited to be able to whip her out in your ranked matches. The support meta has been extremely stale for a while, but I promise you Ana's going to be way more viable in ranked than she has been in quite some time, so that's really good for you Ana players out there. Any questions, please leave them in the comments down below, and any video ideas that you want or VOD reviews you want to see, please let me know. Also, if you like the VOD review format, please smash that like button and tell me down below. I can do more of these VOD reviews or other types of videos, but I really want to know what the community wants, so definitely comment down below. Anyways, that's all I have for you today. I'm Coach Mills, and until next time.